Hello everybody! Welcome to our last maths lesson of the week. Before you do this lesson, did you have a go at my game? I wanted you to do odd and even, so do 20 if you're just learning it now, 50 if you feel a bit more confident, and 100 if you're extremely confident. But it's quite easy with odd or even, because remember, even if we're going all the way up to 100, we're looking in the ones column and nowhere else. So this says, find all the even numbers. Even numbers. So looking in the ones column, that's a 1. That is not an even number. 20. So even though it's 91, we just look at the 1. 23, we look at the 3. Nope. 50, now remember we know if it's in the 10 times table, it's an even number. Woohoo! 11, no, because it's a 1 again. 3, no, because it's a 3 again.
Excellent.
Easy. So have a go at that. The link was above this link on the website. Then I want you to come back to me. Which of these numbers are even then? So if we were playing that game and just looking in the ones column, we were looking for even numbers. If it was a 2, is it even? Yes, because I can split it in half equally. How about 4? Yes. This one is not. This one's 7, but I can see this bit sticking up by itself. So that's a no. 3, again, there would be a bit sticking up by itself, which means, oh, goodness me. So there'd be 2 on this side and 1 on that side. That's not even. It's not equal. So that's a no. 1 is all by itself, so that's a no. 6, we're all equal, look, on both sides. So that's an even number. So just sticking up bit without a partner. So no, that's an odd number. That's also an odd number, number 9 and number 5. And these two, I can see that they're even because I can see all of the numbers have a partner. So these, I've got 8 and I've got 10. They're even numbers too. Did you get that right? And when we are doing, like when we were doing the coconuts and we were doing all the way up to 100, we're just looking in the ones column, and if it's any of these numbers, so these numbers are the even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and the odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's it. Are you ready to sing with me? I love maths, yes I do. I love maths, how about you? We love maths, yes we do. We love maths and we're ready to. Star words. My turn, your turn. My turn. Odd, your turn. Even. Groups, your turn. Unequal. Equal. Multiply. Now the first thing we do in our lesson is we pause the video, we write the date and we write the title at the top of our books. I want you to do that now. Write the date and title on a clean page in your maths book. And then come back to me when you're ready. Well done, thank you. So yesterday we were looking at putting objects into rows that helped us then count them, because basically it meant that we didn't have to count all of the objects. We counted one row, and as long as we could see that the rest of the rows were the same, we then just added that number that many times. So we could get a number sentence from them. So this is called an array. When you put your numbers in equal rows, it's to help you with multiplication, and it's called an array. So here I've got 3 arrays, and I have 3 number sentences. Pause the video and match the number sentences to the correct array. So which number sentence shows 2 and 2 and 2? Shows 3 rows of 2. Which number sentence shows 2 rows of 2? And which number sentence shows 4 rows of 2? That's 2 in a row 4 times. Pause the video and have a go at that. Okay, well done. So let me see. I'm looking for an array that has 2 and then 2 and then 2. It has 2 in a row 3 times. So this has 2 in a row. There's 1, 2 rows. So that's a no. This, as you can see, has 2 in a row, but it has 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. It's not that one. And this has 2 in a row. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it's that one. 2 in a row 3 times. Actually, this one has 2 in a row 2 times. And that must mean that this one links to this one, but let's just check. So I want 2 in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's perfect. So can you help me then with this array? How many presents are in each row? I can see that there is 1, 2 presents in each row. How many rows are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So that means that I need 2 in a row 4 times. That's 2, add 2, add 2, add 2. Let's check that's 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Now remember, to find out how many together, we need to count in 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. There are 8 presents altogether. Let's practice again. How many are in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 rows. That means I need 5 in a row 3 times. I need 3 lots of 5, or 3 groups of 5. So I've got 5, add 5, add 5, 5, 10, 15. There we go. How many is that altogether? There are 15 raspberries altogether. Let's practice this one last time. How many pencils are in each row? There looks like there's quite a lot. Let's count how many is in each row. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 pencils in each row. And how many rows are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. That means I have 10 pencils in each row, and I have 4 rows. That means 4 groups or 4 lots of 10. I have 10, add 10, add 10, add 10. And what do we count in? We count in tens. 10, 20, 30, 40. There we go, there are 40 pencils all together. Can you see the mistake here? Look at this symbol. Something's gone wrong. Can you see the mistake in this array? Pause the video and have a look, see if you can spot it. So let's see, how many rows are there? There is 1, oopsie, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 rows. And there are how many in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 5, add 5, add 5, add 5. But wait a minute. Do all the rows look exactly the same? No, I can see this row has only 1, 2, 3, 4 in it. It's making the array look messy because it is not the same. And that means it can't be an array because we can't do 5 and 5 and 4 and 5. We need to do 5 4 times. So this isn't right. That means that this number cannot be put into the 5 times table because you can't put it in rows of 5. Okay, so with your math subjects, or if you want to, you could draw it in your book. I'm going to draw an array that matches the caption. So the caption says there are 5 rows and there are 2 in each row. Have a think about that for a minute. There are 5 rows and there are 2 in each row. So when I have a row like this, there are 2 in each row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Pause your video and draw it, and then we'll check if you got it right. Okay, have you done that? So let's have a look with my cubes. I'm going to do it with my math subjects, okay? So in a row, it says there's 2. There's 2 in each row. And how many rows do I need to make? 5. So I need 5 of these. So that's 2 rows of 2. 3 rows of 2. 4 rows of 2. And 5 rows of 2. Did yours look like that? Can you see there's a row. Rows go horizontal. Rows do not go downwards like that. That's a column. So rows this way, they each have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. But there are 5 rows of 2. So as you can see, like I've just said, the rows go across. Columns, remember when we're doing the column method, columns go down. Looking at my picture, how many rows is there? And how many columns is there? Rows go across. So they line up, we line up things across. There's 1, 2. There are 2 rows. How many are in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 stars in each row. And there are also columns. So columns go down. Let me just rub out my drawing. Columns, as you can see, go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 columns. And can you see how there are 2 in each column? Wait a minute. Does anybody notice anything there? Can you see how the numbers have swapped over? There are 2 rows of 5 and there are 5 columns of 2. So it's just swapping it over, isn't it? Instead of going that way, we're going that way. The numbers can't change if the array doesn't change. So let's work together. Can you have a look at this one with me? How many rows are there? Rows go across. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 rows. How many are in each row? I can see that there's 2. Now I want you to make a prediction here. Remember what we said? The numbers cross over. So without even counting or looking, think of which numbers I would put here. There's 4 rows of 2. That means there's 2 columns of 4. So remember, columns go down. 1, 2. There are 2 columns. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 in each column. Oh my goodness, this one looks tricky. But I know we can do it. It's just a big number. We don't need to be worried. The idea of rows and columns is still the same. Let's have a look. There is 1, 2, 3 columns. Nope. Rows go this way. Silly me. There is 1, 2, 3 rows. How many is in each row? Can you help me count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Amazing. Now again, without even trying, we use what we know, use the clues that we can see. We could guess the second 2 numbers, couldn't we? If there are 3 rows of 10, that means there are how many columns? So columns, remember, go down. I'm going to do it in a different colour. They go down. So how many columns do you think I'm going to have? 3 rows of 10 would make how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yes, because remember, the numbers swap over. So if there's 3 rows of 10, that means there's 10 columns of 3. And you can see that in each column there's 1, 2, 3. Last example. And then we're just going to do something else quickly before I set you off on your task. So I want another practice. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many is in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means I have how many columns? Well, the dots show you, don't they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many is in each column? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will come to this on a different day, but that's basically a really easy way of multiplication. If you have an array, what you can do, instead of counting all of those circles, that would be a little bit tricky for me. So instead, I count the ones on one edge column and one edge row. So I'd count 1, 2, 3, 4. You do have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means I know there are 4 5s. I can count in 5s 4 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. I didn't have to count them all. That was quick, wasn't it? Okay, so what are you doing today? Today you're going to put all the knowledge you know so far together. So you look at the array. You tell me how many is in each row. You tell me how many rows there are. Tell me how many columns there are. Tell me how many is in each column. And then I want the number sentence, which is the addition, the repeated addition, just like we've been doing this whole time. Okay, so it's more like, where's it gone? More like this. How many is in each row? How many rows there? And then a repeated addition like that. But now, because we're getting even cleverer, we do how many is in each row and how many is in each column. So, can you help me? Because I know you're really good at this. So here's my array. Here it is. And I need to count how many is in each row. So this is your row. Wait. Firstly, how many rows is there? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 rows of... There's 2 in each row. I absolutely do not mind if you need to draw on your array diagram to help you. That's absolutely fine. Sometimes I do dots to make sure I've counted it properly, or lines to make sure I've counted the rows or the columns properly. And if you think that's helpful, then by all means do that as well. So there are 3 rows of 2. How many columns is there? There's 1, 2. There's 2 columns, and there is 3 in each column. So, looking at that then, I can either do, there's 2 number sentences that would be correct actually. I could do 3 rows of 2, so that would be 2 and 2 and 2, 3 times. Or I could do 2 columns of 3, so that would be 3 add 3, 2 times. Like I just said, I could do 3 add 3, or I could do 2 add 2 add 2. Can you see how they are different? And can you see how they're a little bit the same? So I've got 3, I'm adding 3 together 2 times, or I'm adding 2 together 3 times. What would that be? Let's count in 2s. 2, 4, 6. It would be 6. Let me look at this array then. How many rows are there? There's 1, 2. 2 rows. How many is in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bet you can guess then how many columns there is. There's 5 columns. And I bet you can guess how many is in each column. Look, there's 2. So that means I would either do 2 5 times or 5 2 times. This is the number you write. This is how many times you write it. So do 2 5 times, or 5 2 times. What's 5 2 times equal to? 5 add 5 is 10. We know that, don't we? We're a number pun song. And I know you're good at counting in twos anyway, so I'll now let you know that one. 2 4 6 8 10. Last practice, then it's your turn. This one's a funny one. How many rows is there? 2. How many is in each row? 2. How many columns is there? 2. How many is in each column? 2. I know that because remember I can't use any other numbers in here that are not in here. Have a look. You'll notice the numbers switch. If there's 3 rows, that means there's 3 in each column. If there's 2 in each row, that means there's 2 columns. Yeah? But here there was only 2 and 2. There's nothing else I can use. So I will have 2 times. 1, 2. 2 and 2 makes 4. Last practice. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 rows, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each row. Now remember our trick. Don't draw crosses on yours, please. If there's 5 in each row, that means there's 5 columns of 3. Can you see that? The same numbers. And we can check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns of 1, 2, 3. The key to being really good at this lesson is to learn the words row and column. Row means sideways and columns means up and down. To help me remember the words, I sometimes think of these pictures or these objects. So for the word row, I think of a rowing boat. And as you can see on a rowing boat, they have oars, which are the sticks that help them row, coming out sideways out of the boat. That helps me to remember that rows are the ones that go sideways, from side to side, they go across. And columns, so sometimes you see these in buildings, particularly in more ancient buildings and older buildings. They are pillars or like poles of brick, and they go up. They usually hold the ceiling up on a building. They are columns. So I just use those pictures to help me sometimes. Rows and columns. I think I might test you on this next week. Okay, so it's your turn. Just as we've been doing together. You will count the array. You'll tell me how many rows there are, how many is in each row, how many columns there are, how many is in each column, and then I want you to fill out the 2 number sentences, one for the rows, so here you would have 5 3 times, and one for the columns, you'd have 3 5 times. If you are in green group, I want you to do this challenge. So that's looking at the arrays and finding the number sentence yourself. then you'll need to stick it on, or potentially you could write it on. So let me see, this array is quite tricky. I know it's a 10 and a 10, so 10 add 10. What's 10 add 10? 10 add 10 is 20. So you need to fill in the answer as well. Well done, you guys. Well done for being superstars. When you've done your worksheet, if you feel up for a challenge, please press play on the video again so that you can do a challenge with me. Okay, well done, guys. Hello, so here we are for our maths challenge of the day. This is a problem solving challenge. Well done for coming back, you superstar. This is how we grow our brain, you see. So it says complete the array to show 10 add 10 add 10. Now, this is not a complete array, is it? Half of the counters are missing. So I need you to help me with this. But remember how I said to you before that sometimes I just count one column and one row, and then it helps me to do the repeated addition. Before I fill this in, can you tell me, will this number be even or odd? Will this number be even or odd? One way of figuring it out is to answer the repeated addition before I even make the array. What would the answer for the repeated addition be? 10 add 10 add 10 is equal to 30. Is 30 an odd or even number? Well, it's in the tens timetable, so I know it's an even number. 10 add 10 add 10 means that there's 10 rows. No, there is 3 rows. There's not 10 rows, there's 1, 2, 3. There are 3 rows of 10. That's right. 10 3 times. It's not the columns, because I can see that there would be 3 in each column. So then the number in the repeated addition would be 3. How many times do you think I would write the number 3? That's right, I'd write it 10 times, wouldn't I? Because I'd write it for the same amount of numbers that's in the row. So it would be easy for me to fill it in, because I just need to make sure that all the rows are exactly the same. This column has 3 in it. Now this column has 3 in it. This row has 10 in it. I need to make sure this row has 10 in it. At the moment they're not the same. And I'm being very careful to make sure I put a counter next to every single counter in this row. I don't want any missing. I don't want it to look like this one when this person missed one out. One for everyone in there, and one for everyone in there. So there's 10, and 10, and 10. Just like it said in this calculation. Did you guess that? Would you have done that? Why don't you draw this in your book and write how many rows it has, how many is in each row, how many columns it has, how many is in each column, and then write there's this repeated addition, but there's also the one for the columns. 3 add 3, how many columns is there? If you do that, I will be super duper impressed. And guys, I want you to have a wonderful weekend. You have earned to rest with all this amazing work. And I can't wait to see you next week. Okay, goodbye.